The rise and fall of Airbnb in 2023. What's up, guys? How's it going? It's Kyle Olson here. I'm a realtor as well as a real estate investor. Today I wanted to go over Airbnb in 2023. So over the past couple years, Airbnb has been all the craze, but right now we're seeing a dramatic slowdown in Airbnb bookings. And today I wanted to go over if it's a good idea to get into Airbnb in 2023, what you could potentially do to make your property stand out. So let's get into it. So Airbnb itself was founded in 2008 as a privately held company. In 2022, they did roughly around $10 billion in revenue. So over the years, Airbnb continues to grow. People continue to book Airbnbs. But right now in 2023, circumstances have changed and the economy itself is completely different. Over the past few years, we've seen an economy climb dramatically, and now we're seeing it come to a halt. People are starting to lose jobs, the stock market's down, and housing prices are on a steady decline. So that leaves us with what's gonna happen in 2023. Personally, I think Airbnb is still a good investment in 2023. You just have to be on top of the game and know exactly what you're doing. So profits are down for Airbnb hosts because people aren't traveling as much. People are stacking their money and waiting to see what's going to happen in 2023 with the media and all the news going around about the stock market and people starting to lose jobs and the Fed starting to tighten even more, and they won't be happy until real estate prices continue to drop. So this leads a lot of fear distills a lot of fear in people, and their savings rate are trying to go up. So we're seeing a decline in stays. Me personally, for the month of January, I have seen a substantial decline outside of a national park. But this leads me to picking an area where you want to start your Airbnb. This is crucial. So number one, you need to pick your Airbnb model. Are you going to do the traditional Airbnb, purchase a house and put it up on Airbnb? Are you going to do Airbnb arbitrage, or are you going to do medium-term rentals in areas where you cannot do short-term rentals? Medium term meaning, 30 days, 15-day rentals. You can rent it out to traveling nurses. You can do it for insurance claim companies. You need to pick which niche you are going to be in first. So you need to choose a strong market. This can be outside of national parks, cities, any travel destinations such as Disney World, etc., etc. Make sure people are traveling there and there's at least over 1 million visitors per year in this place that you want to buy. For me personally, I invest outside of national parks, but we'll see what 2023 has in store for me. I want to get into Airbnb arbitrage, but also purchase a house in Florida. So once you choose your strong market, you need to find a real estate agent that is familiar with the area, but also familiar with short-term rentals and the city's regulations. This is extremely important because especially if you're investing outside of where you live, you need to have someone who's an expert on the area, but also familiar with short-term rentals. I specifically want to make sure that my real estate agent who's looking for me actually has an Airbnb or did have an Airbnb. And how I vet them is just asking them simple questions about Airbnb and what the regulations are in that specific county or city that I'm investing in. So make sure you have a realtor who's familiar with the regulations in short-term rentals. So once you have a rockstar agent on your team and you picked the house, you bought the house, or you've signed the lease and done an Airbnb arbitrage, I would suggest the first 6 months you don't touch any profits. You want to make sure that you're saving up and you have a good reserve. Me personally, I haven't touched my Airbnb money, and thank God, because January of 2023, my schedule is looking dry, especially with the weather. And like we said, there's a lot of hoopla going on in the world right now, and people are starting to save money and travel less. So if that keeps going throughout 2023, I will have reserves to cover my mortgage, and I will be okay and can weather the storm, because you do not know what can happen. And for instance, another thing that happened was a natural disaster. We had a fire up there and had to close down the park. And again, if I didn't have any reserves, I would be scrambling to pay for another house out of pocket. So keep reserves on hand. You never know what can happen, and you can also use that money to scale your business in the future. So in a competitive market of Airbnb, you want to make sure your property stands out. You want to have a unique stay, especially in the climate we are in today. If you just have a normal house that doesn't have any interior design, or a normal house that has nothing unique about it, people are not going to choose your property. So you need to make sure your Airbnb is unique, especially with all this competition and the current market we're in. What do I mean by making your property unique? Well, if you have a traditional house, you need to make sure that the interior design is perfect. You want to stand out and have those professional photos taken and have people book your place, because if it's not done up right with furniture and it looks plain and simple, people are going to pass over your listing, and you're going to have to compete on nightly rates, which you don't want to be competing on nightly rates. You want to have your property pristine and ready and have people book it, especially in the climate we're in. If you're looking to purchase a house, anything unique like dome houses, tree houses, anything unique like that, I would highly suggest. Another thing that I'm looking for, me personally, is a house that has land so I can add glamp sites to it. I think that over the next couple years, as Airbnb gets more and more competitive in the climate we're in, I think that people will be looking for unique stays at a lower cost. I don't think there's going to be any in between. I think it's going to be very high end or unique stays. So trying to make your property unique and stand out is a great idea. So the good news is that people are going to always travel, even during a recession. And if you're looking to buy a house, the good news is that you will have principal pay down and cost segregation, tax write-offs for that purchase you make on that house. So if you can keep it rented and you can support that mortgage, I would highly suggest you get into the game of Airbnb and try to be unique. So that's the good news. People will always travel no matter what's going on in the world. So what's your thoughts on Airbnb? Do you think in 2023 we're going to see Airbnb come to a screeching halt, or will we have consistent bookings even with the financial climate we are in right now? Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.